So today we will be studying ourselves. There will be many exercises, many practices, and I really hope that we will manage to do it all in 2 hours because I have prepared a lot of great exercises. They're really, really effective. And once again, I want to remind you that everything that I'm giving you is what I personally use in my life. I use it with my clients who show a great positive dynamics. And what I will be giving today is based on psychology and medicine. I've studied psychosomatics, I've studied self-regulating processes, and I made this, let's call it a compact webinar, seminar, so you could use it, apply it to your own life. And I'm really, really hoping that all of the practices that we learn today become automatic in your mind, just like they are for me. Like in the past, I had to control it, but now it just switches on by itself, like some sort of a multi-functional machine. Self-regulation, what is it? The word itself. Something is being regulated without our participation, without our consciousness. And the majority, well, not even the majority, I haven't seen anyone who didn't work on themselves and then their self-regulation was functional and in tune and everything's great. For all of us that who was born in the USSR or post-USSR world, so to speak, our self-regulation is damaged. We lived in the times of deficit. I'm talking about the USSR, and even if somebody went abroad to another country still using the old habit, people would be saving up, being stingy, and not only money-wise, but money-wise as well, of course. But it's more the old tradition, you know, to pass on the clothes from an older child to a younger child, share the same dress with your mom, eat from the same plate. You know, this is our communal culture, which is actually our boundaries that were broken. And of course, our dear moms and our parents who gave us that extra spoon of food, even if we didn't want it, we were full, you know. What happens? What happens when the mother stuffs her child with that extra spoon of oatmeal when the child is already full? The child stops trusting himself, stops trusting his own instincts. The child learns to ignore his own feelings and his needs as well. And this is when his self-regulation is being damaged. What is the process of self-regulation? What does it consist of? Let's talk about that. First, we have a sensation. Please pay attention to what I'm saying. We get a sensation in the body. It's like, I want to sleep, or I want to go to the restroom, I want to have sex, or I want to eat something, or etc., etc. Then, this sensation goes into feelings and emotions. I'm telling you how it was formed in us during the evolution and how it should be working. So it goes into feelings and emotions. Then it is formed into the need, what I want. And then it goes into our cortex, our brain, where we clearly understand, and that's where we have our values, our self-esteem, our self-love, the healthy one, healthy self-love, our reactions. On the whole, this whole huge system of our values. It all comes from a sensation in the body. What is a trauma? Let's talk about trauma. Trauma is when one didn't have enough resource to process the emotions. Let's say the child is getting a coat instead of a bicycle, and the parents tell him, you need the coat more than a bike. But the child was dreaming of a bike. Or another example, the child likes to eat a certain type of cereal, but his mom knows better. She knows that oatmeal is healthier and that the child needs to eat a bigger plate of this oatmeal and gives it to him, which is replacing and substituting the child's natural sensations. The feelings are being suppressed and the sensations stop working. You know, this webinar is super important, extremely important. It's like the Managing Reality in the Powerful Woman webinar, but now it's all practice, pure practice, how it all works, and I'm giving you all the structure. So yeah, our Soviet program, when our parents kept wanting to feed us and they knew what would be better for us, that the adult always knows better. This is all about, you know, these people later in life get sick because their self-regulation is malfunctioning. It's not working. The sequence of events that we have just talked about, sensation, feeling, the needs, thoughts in our cortex, our brain, it's all about values, etc. Okay. So what else can we compare it with? Another metaphor, let us imagine that we used to have the cheapest car, cheapest Chevy, with only two working functions, let's say the gas pedal and the fuel indicator, right? And all of a sudden, we get a Mercedes with all of its shiny buttons, so that can deliver so many functions, and we can figure it out. And wow, bam, we see a red indicator, and we don't know. We're so confused. We don't know what's happening. We think that our car broke down. We go into the dealership, and we don't know what to do. But in reality, our car just offered us more comfort. To get more comfortable, it suggested the seat heater or the armrest, and this is how we use our own body. We cannot use it. For example, if there are people who are super sensitive, let's say they feel everything, they think that they got sick or they're itchy under the knee or they have cancer or something, the hypochondriacs. This is when the car has all the wires attached in a twisted way. Wrong wire goes to the wrong indicator, and someone has fake sensations. It may seem to them, but this is the extreme, the ultimate extreme stage of the damaged self-regulation. They think that they're dying. They think that they have cancer and all the, you name it, you know. But these people actually need this webinar. If you know such people, maybe you could recommend it to them. Okay, so what are we doing today? Today, I'm going to tell you what is on our agenda. So today we are going to be sewing back together, or better to say, we're going to arrange peace between our head and our body. We will be connecting all of our wires correctly and finding out which wire is responsible for which function in our body. Of course, at the beginning, we will be doing it consciously. You will have to do some work first before it becomes automatic. But it takes time. But I'm going to tell you that this is a natural process for all humans. Everything that I will be telling you, how to react, how to contain, how to resource, this is actually automatic for a mentally and physically healthy human being. But it's really, really rare. Really rare. Okay, so first we will be learning about mindfulness. Second, we will be learning to contain. Third, we will be learning to resource, gaining and accumulating resource. We will be learning, fourth, we will be learning to monitor, get to know and accept our suppressed and devalued feelings. And fifth will be boundaries, also a very important part. Actually, every part is super important. And we have a lot of exercises, so I'm beginning to talk. All right. So there are always some events in our life that throw us off our balance. Be that stress, insults, issues at work, husband told us we're fat, or our friend asked us what's wrong with our hair. You know, someone pushed us on the street, lots of things. And it's like we get scared. Either way, it's stress. But what really happens to us, to our body, what happens to our body in the moment, in this moment? At this moment, our body tenses up and kind of gets lost, and it's like we fly out of our body, lose touch with it, stop feeling it, you know? When we are in a relationship with a partner and we have some sort of a misunderstanding, maybe in a family or with a friend, and we kind of freeze. And it is a reaction we have learned from our childhood, when our parent could yell at us or hit us or insult us. And we learn this position when we aren't feeling ourselves. We stop feeling. Our feet, our hands, they get cold. Our head is on fire. This is exactly the loss of the list above that I will be talking about today. So all of this is telling us it's our body has slowed down all of its reaction. Basically, this program is about the powerful woman, the wise woman, the webinar, right? This is the woman. How does she react to stress? So basically, for regular people, there are stimuli and reaction. So a wise woman would be choosing her reaction, meaning in her sequence of events, there is an additional link. Choose your reaction. And right now together, we will be choosing our reaction to different various stimuli. Why is this powerful woman, this wise woman, the resourceful woman, mysterious, interesting, attractive, challenging? Because she is whole. And this wholeness of hers and ours as well depends on the self-regulation and self-regulation of the physical and mental processes. So if a woman is physically healthy, mentally healthy, she can easily choose a reaction to get a good outcome of the situation. So now I'm going to give you an algorithm how to reach a moment-to-moment awareness. It's called mindfulness. This is in order to exit the state of feeling lost, tense, and losing yourself. Everybody talks about self-esteem, self-love, but whom do we love? If there is no me, whom do I love? If there is no me, I don't exist. I don't feel myself. And a lot of people are in this state constantly. They live in this tension, this loss, they're frozen. They're frozen. There is a psychological term for it, actually. We call it emotionally numb. It's like they're alive, they're doing something, they may be even successful in some areas due to some overcompensation, but they're always in the state of stress, tension. They don't let anyone close to them. Say, a powerful woman, a resourceful woman, a mindful woman who can control all of these processes. Oh, I lost the train of thought, sorry. So this woman can be aware in the moment. She is mindful. And now I'm going to give the algorithm. Prepare to make some notes. First thing we need to do is to slow down. Say something happened. Something happened and we have to slow it down. First, we notice something's happening. We wake up, we notice. Bring all the attention within. When something is happening to you, usually you aren't even thinking about yourself. You are in shock. And this shock does not let you get inside yourself. It doesn't let you feel that you're alive. For some time, you kind of drop out of yourself. So what do you need to do here? You need to slow down. You need to say to yourself, stop, or you can choose any other word to trigger it, like to be a blinking light to indicate that you need to slow down, you need to stop your inner time. Second, grounding. How do we get grounded? This is a psychological term. So how do we do it? We put both of our feet on the ground or on the floor. Let's do it right now together. We put both of our feet on the floor or on the ground and you feel them. How are they feeling? What are your feet feeling right now? How well are you feeling the contact with the ground? Notice the experience of both feet making contact with the ground. This is usually the process, these steps happen together at the same time. I'm just telling you it step by step. First is you slow down, you stop your inner time. And second, you get grounded. You get up on both of your feet. If you're sitting down, you need to feel fully grounded in 4 areas. You need to feel your seat bones and your feet. Feel your buttocks on the chair, part of your thighs. And notice this experience right now, feeling grounded. Feel it, go ahead and feel it right now. So, stopping your inner clock and feeling grounded. Next step is breathing. Breathing. A lot of people who have some health issues, I'm gonna elaborate a bit on psychosomatics. The doctors only recognize as psychosomatic the disorders when people have good test results, but at the same time show symptoms. And they call those issues psychosomatic. I am going to disagree with this one because I am a psychologist and I'm also a clinical psychologist, and we have studied all of these processes of the neocortex and how it reacts, and that all of the health issues are connected with the mental processes, which is why I consider all of the health issues to be psychosomatic. Even if somebody broke a leg, this is also psychosomatic because the person was looking for the situation to happen. So our subconsciousness controls us by these mental processes. So we will not be focusing on this. There are webinars about that. So if there is someone here who came with some health issues, all of this is due to the self-regulation malfunctioning. And those who have social issues, afraid of any forms of communication, letting someone in, getting close to people, and not realizing that you're afraid of social contact, or having difficulty in communication, afraid to get closer to people, people you don't know, feeling lonely around people, complicated relationship with family members, partners. All of it is a sign of poor self-regulation. So, right, like I said, so slowing down, grounding, and breathing. All of the people, most of the people, don't breathe deep enough. You need to monitor your breath work, your breathing, to learn to make it deeper. I mean, breathe normally, of course, but notice that we usually breathe somewhere here, somewhere around here in our chest area. It barely reaches the middle of our chest. But the breathing should be metaphorically up until your buttocks, meaning deep, profound breathing. And when we get mindful, breathing is mandatory. Another way is centering. That is remembering who I am and where I am. Say your partner attacked you mentally, insulted you, or something. We need to immediately wake up and ask ourselves, where am I? Who am I? How old am I? Where am I right now? Getting centered from within, looking for yourself. This is also a rescue tool in finding yourself. Next one is containing. There are lots of questions about it. I remember I wrote about it and got a lot of questions as to what it is. So containing is also a psychological term, and I'm going to explain what this term entails. Containing is required to process the feelings when there is time and place. How is it formed within us? Okay, now relax and slow down. You're going to understand everything. Look, a child. The child was running, fell down, hurt himself, and now he's running to his mommy. At this moment, his mother is his container because he doesn't yet have other containers developed to process these emotions, to process these feelings. For now, his mother is his temporary container before he forms his own containers. But look, one thing is that if his mom is not fully in charge of her own container and has a malfunctioning self-regulation system, she is going to transfer all of these behavioral models to the child. Because if her mom also had these issues, meaning and she transferred it to this mom, so on and so forth in the family line. And now you understand how these genetic diseases originate, where they come from. But these behavioral models, they travel from one generation to another together with, so these diseases are caused by the behavioral models, which is why with a poorly containing mom, we have a poorly containing child who cannot self-regulate. So, okay, say a child needs to use the bathroom. So first he's using the diaper, and he doesn't notice how he pees in the diaper. And as his bladder grows, he starts asking to go to the restroom. So he knows how to contain. This is the containing on a physical level. He can control his bladder and ask him to go to the bathroom, and then he goes. And then later, when he gets bigger, older, he does it himself. For the adults, for example, for us, there's no problem holding it for a little bit, right? So physiologically, this is how we learn to contain. An example about emotional containing. Let's say we are in the movies or at a theater and there is an action on stage, there's a play, and at this moment you receive a text message with sad or shocking news or super happy news. A child here would not be able to hold his emotions in because he has no container. An adult, though, does have a container, and he will put these emotions in his container and will process them after the play. So what is containing? What is containing? I wrote it down somewhere here. It is postponing the full emotional experience for when you have the time and the resource. So the powerful woman, getting back to our webinar, she can choose her reaction. She's capable of choosing because she has a big container. She doesn't have this childish impulse when the child falls and starts crying or gets scared or calls for his mommy, so that the mommy showed him care, so that she helped him go through the situation until he recovers to go and continue to play with his scratched knee. So here the mother is the container. But a lot of women have malfunctioning containers. They're not working because these childhood reactions are haunting them. There is an impulse, and a woman is incapable of containing. Her immediate reaction is irritation, annoyance. Say a man did something wrong and she immediately gave him a piece of her mind, or a colleague said something she didn't like. She either suppressed it or released it immediately. These are our basic reactions: aggression, fight, or suppression. A powerful woman, I'm using this term from my webinar, a wise woman, she is emotionally aware and she can contain, meaning store the feelings and emotions inside of her and then processing them fully when she has the time and the resource that she did not have at the moment of stimulus. At that, mindfulness, or finding yourself in the moment, is the first process. Mindfulness, grounding, slowing down, and breathing. So this is my container because I paid attention to myself. So at this very moment, I am not in shock. I am not in affect by the one who insulted me. Alice, we're learning right now, and the first thing we need to learn is to wake up in the moment and finding ourselves, because in order to head somewhere, we need to locate ourselves, set up our navigation system. So mindfulness, slowing down, grounding, and breathing. And this way we are forming our container, because at this moment we are bringing the attention to ourselves. At this moment we are recovering. Who does not have a container? Who doesn't have a container? Those are the people who do not recover. They clamp, they tense up, they freeze, they suppress the feelings, they don't process them. And then getting out of the state for them, it's very slow process, because they're living by means of distraction or something like that. This is the wrong way, by the way, of processing the feelings and the emotions. Going forward, I will be talking about the resources, and I will tell you how to process your emotions. Look, another method to contain is, for example, I realize that I have a negative feeling, and I don't suppress it. I don't ignore it. I see this feeling. I see what's going on. No need to get distracted, for example. All of it, look, our brain works in the following way. If I felt something, There is an indicator in my brain, a light bulb comes up. Let me draw it for you so you understand better. So our brain, our cortex, I'm drawing so make it clear for you. Two hemispheres. Two hemispheres. For example, the light bulb comes on over here. Somebody hurt us, was mean to us, or whatnot. So this area of the brain got activated, and it's active now. And if we ignored it, we didn't process it, we didn't complete that action. You know, this activated brain area always requires for the action to be completed. The area will stay open for decades. It's also called an open gestalt in psychology, gestalt therapy. And every gestalt requires a completion. See here, it starts moving and it stays with you if you ignored it. Every gestalt has to be completed, has to complete the process. This is actually about the reaction in our brain. The area gets activated and now it's open. And what happens if it stays open, for example? For example, we have a lot of impulses in our head, and if a similar situation occurs, it touches our activated area and we experience either a trauma or irritation. So this thing is not closed. It's important to address it, not to ignore it. So we need to see this feeling and put it aside for some time when we can experience it completely till later moments, right? So first is to identify the negative feeling, not to ignore it. We need to complete our gestalts. Every single gestalt has to be completed. Throughout our life, why do we go to therapy, to a psychologist or to a gestalt therapist? Because we are completing and closing our gestalts. So the psychologist discovers your open and an incomplete gestalt and closes it for you, completes it, of course, together with you. You have your revelations, etc. So first you have discovered the feelings, and second, you put it aside to process it later when you're resourceful. Gestalt is a method in psychology to complete an action, a completion of an action. I mean, the area that got activated due to an emotional outburst, and we haven't completed it, we haven't felt it, it will stay open forever and will always be bothering us. The impulses will be going through this brain area and bother us due to this open gestalt. If you have, if you have the time right now to process and feel the emotion, look, when something happens to us, someone scared us or gave us some bad news, something's happening, we're in affect. And at this very moment right now, we are not exactly capable to process the feeling. We first need to become aware, to get in the moment, get mindful, slow down, get grounded, breathe through it, and put it aside, this situation aside. Deal with this emotional explosion later, because this is more than just one emotion. This is usually a cocktail, which we need to analyze later. As we go further, it will become more clear. Now we will continue, but I will be coming back to it. So we'll get it together as one picture. Look, how do we process our emotions? You probably never knew this, but I'm gonna tell you right now that our emotions are processed by our muscles. Emotions are felt by the whole body, but most of our body is muscles, So we process our emotions by our muscles. But thing is, our body is frozen or numb, not alive, so to speak. When our mental self-regulation is broken, so where do we get all those health conditions from? Where do they come from? Where do we get depressions, panic attacks, sufferings, and stuff like that? They're all coming from the fact that somewhere inside our body, lacks sensitivity. It's from the story, if you remember, I told you about the car where the wires are twisted and attached to the wrong buttons, and we aren't using those functions of the Mercedes because we're used to our old Chevy without any access to the resource. So we are used to being a little bit numb. This is a strong term, of course, but this is the term that is used by the psychologists. It's a psychological term, emotional numbness. An emotionally numb person. So when the self-regulation is not working properly, the person is considered to be emotionally numb. We have areas in our body that we cannot feel, and which is why we superficially process some feelings, and some of them we completely suppress. And we do not process them because they're unacceptable by the society, for example. We're not allowed to feel jealous, envious, angry, aggressive, hateful. What else is expected from us? We are expected to be nice, kind, not angry. We don't create conflict. But in reality, all the emotions are very important. If they have a name, they have a purpose. It means that they helped us to survive in some life situation. All of the emotions are very, very important, and I will tell you more about that today. Okay. So if in our body all the muscles are fully functional and we are able to feel with our entire body, then it is much easier for us to process diverse feelings, heavier feelings. By the way, why are we more sensible and sensitive to, so to speak, bad feelings? Because at some point they were responsible for our safety. The mankind was being formed, and that's why we are more responsive to bad feelings. They helped us. Anger, bright and strong feelings, But it's very important to feel the good feelings too. They should be activated. Why? Because they are our resources. These are our resources. Our body consists of two systems, sympathetic system and parasympathetic system. The sympathetic system is in charge of when we're active, full of adrenaline. We're in action, we're on fire, we're all toned up, and we're active, right? Our parasympathetic system, it's our nervous system too, it's in charge of our relaxation. When we're chilling out, when we're hugging somebody, when we're enjoying something, when we're feeling warm and cozy. And at that time, when our parasympathetic system is active, our body is self-healing. These nice and pleasant emotions of tenderness, respect, excitement, warmth. These feelings are given to us to trigger that self-healing process, recovering. Thing is that some people have a malfunctioning parasympathetic system. It's when the people are overloaded and they are constantly active. They have they have a sympathetic system that's always active, and they cannot self-heal or recover. They don't sleep, they don't rest, they have panic attacks. You know what is a panic attack? It's or for example, vegetative vascular dystonia, VVD. Or this is all an outcome of the person not being inside the body. And headaches, what are headaches? It's when I'm processing my emotions and feelings only in my head and not in my body. Those of you who have headaches, it's because your body is switched off and you're unable to process your emotions with your entire body. Yes. So, sympathetic and parasympathetic systems. So it's super important to to find 1 or 2 hours a day just for yourself. To recover, to spend the time with yourself, to recover, self-heal, you know, like a cat on a windowsill. The sun is shining and she's enjoying herself, she's purring, and she's just enjoying and she's in full relaxation. This is our parasympathetic system. Imagine a cat enjoying the sun on the windowsill and purring. This is our recovery, our self-healing. Our cells are healing themselves. Our wounds are healing up, our emotional wounds are healing up as well. Everything I'm telling you is our entire system, our mental and physical systems. So these 1 or 2 hours a day to spend the time with yourself are super important and needed. Super resourceful. What are the resources? Resources, what are they? Resources are when I'm experiencing something pleasant, I'm processing pleasant feelings, when I'm warm, when I'm hugging a baby, when I'm hugging a loved one, or when I heard a kind word. All of these are the resources that turn on our parasympathetic system. Hugs. You know, they say that you need a hug a few times a day. Hugs activate our parasympathetic system. When we hug somebody, we activate our parasympathetic system and self-heal. Very important. You know that all the pharmaceutical industry has its objective, to boost the blood circulation in the body. They create medication that improves the blood circulation in a certain area, and hugs actually help boosting your blood circulation. At the moment of hug, our body becomes more sensitive about the blocked areas. Our blocked areas relax and they free up, they release. And look at trauma, getting back to trauma. What is trauma? Trauma is when we do not have enough resource to process the emotions. You see the connection here, right? To process the emotions in a container, we need the resource. Look, so if we do not have the resources, we do not let anyone in. We do not allow people to get closer to us. They're all on a distance because our boundaries are not functioning properly and the containers are not functioning as well. So we need to gain resource, which are, like I said, something pleasant, nice, hugs, kisses, kind words, rest, time with yourself, meditation, giving yourself some time to recover, self-heal, to process what we have not processed yet. Give yourself time to recover, self-heal, and process. We're still building our picture, ladies, together. So there could be something unclear, but it's okay. At the end, we will figure everything out. Now let's talk about feelings. Recognizing them, accepting them. Look, I have already said that absolutely all of our feelings are important. Be that arrogance, fear, anger, jealousy, hatred, envy. All of them are very important. They were evolutionary, integrated within us. And if a feeling has a name, it means it has a purpose and it has to be processed. And some people would say, oh, I don't get jealous. But in reality, all of us experience this feeling as well. It just depends on us. Say we get jealous when we see that someone has something and we do not want them to have it. This is not the best form of jealousy. It's an unconstructive jealousy. There is jealousy when, oh, I also want to have what she has. So we all have this kind of feeling. Sometimes it may hurt that they have something that we don't have. And yes, indeed, there are more than 100 feelings. Thank you, Julia. More than 100 feelings that we need to process, accept, and appreciate. So now, let us compare. I'm going to give you a metaphor. If there is a feeling that we are not processing, we suppress it, we ignore it, run away from it, get distracted. It's like children, it's like abandoned children thrown out in the street. And they're knocking on your door, asking them to let them back in. So now, what we're gonna do, we're gonna let those children in. We're gonna let those abandoned children in. We're gonna let them in and accommodate them in nice, cozy rooms. Let's do this exercise so that you never ignore any of your feelings again. If there is something arousing, we need to process it. So it's not a meditation. We stay present. It's not a meditation. I mean, it's a meditation, but it's not a meditation when you're flying away, falling asleep, not processing it. Just follow my voice, follow the instructions, and process and accept. I'm going to play some music. Music. Just to set the mood. Okay, so this meditation is to contain feelings. Get in a comfortable position, sit down, set aside all the unnecessary things, and start breathing. Start breathing. Ideally that your breath reached your buttocks, metaphorically. We need deep, profound breathing. Let me know if the music is too loud. Maybe I'll turn it down a bit. Okay. So I made a few notes for myself to make sure that we're in our time frame. So sit in a comfortable position, start breathing deeper, breathe through any emotions that may arise, feelings. If you feel tears coming out of your eyes, just let them be. Tears are always a good sign. They mean there has been something suppressed for a while and it's finally surfacing and being released. Purification. Put both of your feet on the floor. ground or on the ground and feel them. Feel your feet. Feel the ground underneath and bring your breath to your feet and breathe through them. I'm talking metaphorically, of course, but I'm sure that women can use their imagination to manage to breathe through the feet, but I'm sure men can manage as well. Now feel your calves. How are they feeling? You can close your eyes, just not to be distracted by the screen. How are your calves feeling? Are they warm? Maybe there are some goosebumps. Bring your attention to your knees. How are they feeling? Hips. Feel the seat bones, also known as your buttocks. Feel your lower back. How comfortable is your lower back right now? If it's not comfortable, make sure it's comfortable. Make it more comfortable. Feel your feet grounded at all times. Feel your back, your upper back, your shoulders, the back of your neck, the front of your neck. Feel your crown. Breathing slowly. Breathing. Slowing down. Feel your forehead, your temples. Feel your eyes, your eyelids. Deep, profound breathing through your belly. Feel your rib cage opening. And now take a few very deep breaths till your hips and relax. Relax. Maybe you will feel some goosebumps in the body or a warm wave. And keep breathing. And now locate inside your body a big and bright space. It could be in your chest. It's a big space of light. It could be in your chest or in your abdomen, or maybe it's this big that it covers the whole area from the chest and to the belly. Focus on this bright space in your body and keep breathing. Keep breathing while seeing this space of light in your body. And the air travels easily. Inhale, exhale. The air travels freely through your body, through the chest, maybe even through this bright space. And you can see it, or maybe your entire body is breathing. It's of course possible, and it's really good. So you have found this bright spot, bright space of light, felt where it is. This is our container for our feelings. And now let's remember an unpleasant feeling. Without going too deep into it, we're not going into this feeling. Just remember that you felt unpleasantly. Just the feeling itself. be jealousy, sadness, envy, anger, or any other. Let's take, for example, envy. And in this empty container, we're finding a nice spot for envy and accommodate it, for it to live there peacefully and happily, keeping in mind that all of our feelings are important and that if we do not process one of them, they will be there as a trigger for 10 to 20 years irritating us, which is why right now we're accommodating our envy into a nice little room with a nice bed, with nice beautiful towels and curtains. Give it a nice cozy room with a bed and sheets, flowers. Give it a nice room. And we keep breathing, allowing more space into our bright container. It's very bright and spacious. And let us find room for jealousy. Give it a nice and spacious room. Nice and spacious room with all the amenities for our jealousy, for it to live peacefully and comfortably in this nice and warm room, accepting our jealousy, letting it be. Next, let's take anger or rage and find a nice room for it too in our big and spacious and bright home. Anger also needs a nice accommodation. It has reasons to exist. It serves a very important purpose. This is to protect us. It protects our boundaries. If there is no room for anger on the inside, it's being attracted to us from the outside through our partners or unpleasant events. And if we accommodate the anger in our nice, enormous, and bright container, it will be peacefully living there and won't need to be activated and attracted from the outside. We're giving it a nice room with a bed, with curtains. Just use your imagination and give it a nice room, give it some space. And we keep breathing deeply and peacefully. And now let's accommodate our arrogance. Arrogance is also a very important feeling. It has a very important purpose in our world. It helps us maintain our boundaries and safety. So let's accommodate the arrogance into a nice room and continue to breathe. And now let's take fear. Everybody is afraid of fear. Let's take fear and accommodate it somewhere nice, just not in our belly, not in the abdomen, because this is where it usually likes to sit and scare us. So let's accommodate it somewhere else, somewhere nice, but not our belly. Let's give it a nice room. Fear is also a very important feeling, and it has the right to be. We accommodate all the feelings, even if it's the feeling that you hate or try to avoid and run away from. Accommodate it in your nice and big container right now. Now you have this container and it's being filled with your feelings, important feelings, your feelings. We don't need to be perfect. We need to be alive. People who are trying to be perfect, they become numb, inanimate. This is the wrong interpretation of being perfect, that you're supposed to behave in a certain manner. You can't express your emotions, can't be irritated. And we have accommodated all of our feelings in their rooms. This is a conscious process, so we can get distracted, it's fine. We accommodated all of them in our huge container, installed its flat screen TV in each room, hung some nice curtains, made it cozy, gave them a pillow, a blanket, and let them breathe through it. And let them be. We breathe through it. And I'm turning on the music, and let's get back and open our eyes. So this was the exercise to accept and process our feelings, one feeling at a time. And this is for you to keep and to know that every feeling is important. Now, we have a container, and we know that this feeling lives there, and we don't have to spit it out. We can process the feeling when we need to. Is anxiety a feeling that I can accommodate? There's a question. Now, look, anxiety, it's a bouquet of suppressed feelings. I don't know what I'm feeling. That's what anxiety is. When people are anxious, their self-regulation is off. When I don't understand which feeling I am feeling right now, what is happening to me, I am not grounded. I didn't slow down and my breathing is shallow. This is what leads to anxiety. Now when we allow our feelings, we allow them, we locate them, we get grounded, we breathe deeper, and all of this slowly but surely straightening out twisted wires, and we allow ourselves to process our feelings when we have the time and the resource. Resources to process any feeling. If you have tears, weeping is also very good. It means that our parasympathetic system is on. And if the tears, because you feel sorry for yourself, that the world is not bending over backwards to serve you, these are the destructive tears. The tears should be purifying. When something happened and we didn't manage to contain it and process it, crying helps a lot. Crying helps us to process. It's a good thing. Women need to cry. Women need to cry. What is to process a feeling? Processing is giving time, place, and proper breathing, experiencing it in the body, giving this feeling your attention, giving the attention to yourself. When we don't feel something, we don't process it, we don't bring our attention to it, it's like we're falling apart. We stop being whole. We lose it. We get ourselves back together when we have all of our emotions. We notice them, we acknowledge them, and allow them to be. Then all of the processes in our body are back to life. We are getting back to life, and we don't need to snap at people. We are more relaxed because we are in balance, and it's impossible to throw us off this balance. I can feel it because all of my containers are fully functional. I can locate the feeling. Process it if I need to, and I can do it while being grounded, and now it's automatic. I am feeling, I'm not feeling anxious anymore like I used to before, like all of us now maybe, but I work through these things, and all the seminars that I teach, they are all to help you ease the anxiety and boost self-consciousness, regulate the behavior, building strong relationships with yourself and others. Anxiety is when the wires are twisted and you don't know which indicator is showing you what when you aren't grounded and you don't know how to get there, slow down. Everything that I have already mentioned, I hope you're taking notes because this is really important stuff, ladies. Let's continue. Now let's play a game while we have the time. Play a little game. So let's do like this. I'm gonna give you feelings and emotions because look, before we feel something and process it, not notice in the body, locate it, acknowledge it, allow it, process it, right? First, we need ladies, grounding. I am repeating. Mindfulness. Someone hurt you, scared you, insulted you, something happened. What do? First, we slow down. We stop our time, inner time. Slowing down. Second, I get grounded by placing both of my feet on the floor or the ground. Grounding. Next, I breathe deeply. And next, I get centered by asking myself this question: who am I? Where am I? Am I a woman? How old am I? I'm 37 years old. I can protect myself. I am getting centered. But first is always slowing down and breathing. This is when you're in an affect. Something happened and you got tense. How to exit this state? Through mindfulness. Finding yourself in the moment, and then you give all of your feelings and emotions this container. There are no bad emotions. And what is our container? It is a vessel for our emotions and feelings, resources, and then when something happens to me and I'm not in the right time and place, I can relieve and process these feelings when it's good for me, when I have the time and place, when I'm not impulsive. I'm not impulsive. I do not snap at the moment. I do not get mean at people. I can just stop the person. We will talk about that further, about boundaries. But make sure you're taking notes, because I'm saying really important things, and I don't want you to lose those things. This is the algorithm. It has to become automatic, become a skill. Like for me, for example, try telling me something mean. It's not that I'm not sensitive. I just take this information and process it. I have a nice and healthy container, and I'm whole and I'm grounded and I don't destruct. I don't hurt. I'm aware and I'm grounded. Oh, 4 pages. That's great. Somebody wrote 4 pages. Here's the book. I always tell you that I have my notes, my book, and it's a lot of valuable stuff in here. Very valuable. Look. So, I'm gonna read various types of emotions. And we will figure them out, analyze, because not everybody knows exactly what to feel to a certain emotion or feeling. What is joy? What is sadness? What is gratitude? What is disgust, tenderness, anger, respect? So I'm going to read it for you in this exercise, and you will need to locate this feeling in your body. So this is a very good exercise to acknowledge the feeling, accept it, locate it in your body, acknowledge it in your body, and then we will be working with feelings one by one. And for now, I just need you to locate them in your body. So I'm gonna play some music to make it more entertaining, to dive into the feelings. So the first feeling is called joy. So we are slowing down, feeling grounded, Both of our feet are on the ground. We're breathing. And right now I'm reading you about joy, and you are looking for it in your body, locating it and accommodating it. Joy is a strong feeling. It is born inside us, in our heart. And it's filling us up with warmth and strength. From our head to our toes. Joy means that at this very moment, everything is great. And this very moment, everything is right, inside and around us. We use our energy on something important and become even stronger. When we're healthy and our mind is at peace, we want to straighten, to stand tall and smile. Joy can be loud and joy can be quiet. It's also called affection. It is when there is a lot of warmth and light inside us, and we feel that everything is great. The world is full of love. We are loved, and we love everything around. We want to share joy. It is just asking to come out and sing and shout, or even purring like a cat. Joy is stronger when we share it with other people. But it's also possible to be joyful on your own. Joy is triggered when we encounter something good. It's a very natural sensation. It doesn't require a special training or special effort. Joy comes and goes by itself. It was just there, and now it's gone. And then it appears again. Even though grown-ups tend to block their joy and suppress it, then it can be perceived as agitation or anxiety. This is joy. Next feeling is sadness, sorrow. Let's locate it in the body. If you're feeling something in your throat or coughing or tears, etc., just breathe through it. Don't force your breathing. Just breathe deeply through your belly, deeply. Get grounded. Feel the ground with both of your feet and breathe. And listen to the next feeling. Sorrow. Sorrow is a feeling. It's a quiet and unhurried feeling. It grows gradually, sometimes slows down. So it happens after a pleasant, joyful event. The party is over, a nice day is coming to an end, and you need to let go. And deep in your heart, you feel a little bit blue. This is an evening feeling, sorrow. Sadness is also a shade of sorrow, it's just a little bit weaker, meaning that there is a lack of something important or a loved one. But it also means that we are strong enough to get by without what we're missing, that we can handle everything ourselves. Sadness says that we can experience love and not only the desire. You are sad and blue because you're missing something or someone, or you have to let go of something good, an interesting book or a movie with its characters, vacation, and a beautiful exotic country with a loved one, a grown-up child, your youth, your childhood, or your beauty. When the sadness arrives, it often happens that we want to be alone. We need time to understand why we're sad, to understand how important it is to us, how much we need the one that we're missing. And afterwards, sadness transforms into a dream or a hope, and you can look forward to meeting your dear person or visiting your dear place, and we're feeling better and happier. Sadness is a very healthy feeling. A lot of people are unable to feel sad. In order for us to learn the full spectrum of feelings, to avoid emotional numbness, we need to be able to feel all of these feelings. They're all very important. If right now you're crying or the tears are coming up, just breathe through it. Breathe. All the reactions are good. Sweat, anything, shivering, just breathe through this. Breathe into that place. Next feeling is fear. Fear is a very important and ancient feeling. Fear is familiar to every human being, every animal. It makes us question if our surroundings are really safe and sound. Victoria, if you can't feel anything, you're saying you're frozen or numb, just listen about the feeling, because indeed a lot of us are numb, frozen, so to speak. It's all because of our traumas. Okay. Fear makes us question if our surroundings are really safe and sound. Fear appears as a flash, bang, and our heart sank and then started racing. The body shivered and tensed up, and the fear settled somewhere in the abdomen area, and that's when they say the stomach is tied up in a knot. Fear warns us about danger, when we need to think fast, how to protect ourselves, how to save ourselves, run or attack, pretend, dodge or hide, call for help or come up with an excuse. Fear is an unpleasant feeling. It rushes you to make a decision, to take action, and at the same time drains you of your power, your strength. Fear is contagious, makes you weak, and you want to shrink into a dot, hide or become invisible, and everything around you feels enormous, strong, and hostile. It's important to calm the scared person down, because while they're scared, they're inadequate. And if the regular methods do not work, then you need to consult a psychologist or a fear therapist. Next feeling, disgust. One of the more pleasant feelings. It shows you that you have confronted something completely inappropriate and harmful. You're grossed out, you want to shake it off, you want to spit it out, throw it out, get rid of the trigger that caused this disgust. The disgust can be triggered when we hear the words we do not want to hear or see something we don't want to see at all. It shouldn't be bothering you, but it already has. And after, see, I'm also showing some reacting. And after the person distanced herself or himself from the unpleasant trigger, the disgust slows down and slowly leaving. You can breathe fresh air, look at something pretty and pleasant, listen to some nice words. And if there is nothing pretty or pleasant around you, you need to do or say something pleasant to get rid of this feeling. And now listen closely. Those whose husbands, partners, moms, dads, etc. are tyrants, abusers, or moral harassers, moral abusers, etc., you have a suppressed disgust and anger. Disgust is a very important feeling to leave a dependent or codependent relationship, because when the dependence is being formed, or codependence, we suppress the disgust. And as a consequence, as a result, we do not notice the moment when we need to say no, and we lose the ability to say this word at all. So disgust is, even though it's a very ugly feeling, it's a very, very effective and purposeful, useful, extremely useful feelings, anger and disgust, because if it's dysfunctional and suppressed, and when did it happen? It happened When we were 3 and we started to separate from our parent didn't allow us to separate. When we started to be fussy and showing our mini ego at that time, and those who were not separated from their own parents, usually hereditary code, your parents do not allow you to get angry or be disgusted with them because something it's not yours or and you suppress it, and then it comes to you from an outside as an abusive partner or mother who devours you and constantly planting guilt. This is all coded manipulation of a family system. Next is tenderness. Let's process tenderness together. Let's process it properly in the entire body. Locate it and fill yourself up with tenderness. Because a lot of people do not process tenderness. It's suppressed. Some may think it's shameful feeling tenderness. Tenderness makes you delicate and gentle, like a rose petal or a feather. You can easily get closer and touch somebody without making them feel uncomfortable. See, important. You know, your voice becomes warm and quiet, and your motions are smooth and gentle. Tenderness means that you care a lot about someone or something. You want to be closer to the object of your tenderness, and you're ready to take good care of it. Not to break it, not to ruin it, not to hurt it. Tenderness makes you very sensitive towards the other person and to yourself, because it's so hard to express it. The word seems too harsh, the touch feels too strong. So if you manage to share tenderness, it becomes joy. But if you don't, it turns into sadness and loneliness, because tenderness is a part of love. Cry. If you feel the tears coming, let them out. Don't block them. Purify. It is good. It so happens that people do not notice your tenderness. They get embarrassed or laugh at you. It hurts a lot, and you feel an impulse to hide your tenderness behind rudeness or indifference. This is why people oftentimes show tenderness towards flowers or cute kittens, because they will not laugh at them in return. Don't fall asleep. Process it in your head, in your body, consciously, like you're studying, as if you're studying. Because falling asleep is, of course, your resistance towards processing this feeling or accommodating it in your body. It is your subconscious resistance. Okay, ladies, next one is anger. Listen, fact is that we are used to address symptoms. Take headache, for example. So instead of saying no to someone that you disagree with something, you don't like it, we get a headache. Or for example, instead of disagreeing with your husband or saying no to him, you get a headache, and this is your way of saying no. So this is how we communicate with the entire world, through our symptoms. And we need to be alive again, feeling everything and processing it. It is very important. It's of the utmost importance. Cry, ladies. Cry, purify. These are the tears of purification, meaning you have a lot of tension in your system, and tears always mean release and purification. And now we're gonna learn about anger. It's a very important feeling. Cold feet, cold hands means I froze. I'm numb. I cannot feel myself. I'm constantly in fear. I'm afraid to get closer to other people or to let them in. I'm always stressed. This is about having cold feet, cold hands, cold limbs in general. Let's defrost ourselves, ladies. Let's process our feelings. I can't speak slower. That's because we have a lot of stuff to do. So anger. Anger is a very unpleasant feeling. It arises in our chest like a raging fire. process this feeling right now. It's very important feeling. Don't get distracted chatting. It arises in our chest like raging fire, like a lightning, and it's eager to come out like an awakened volcano longing to erupt. Anger tells us that something wrong is happening, something with which we strongly disagree, and we need to defend what's ours, something that's very, very important to us. We need to change it, destroy it, and at this very moment you feel a lot of energy for it, a lot of power. You see, anger is power, anger is energy. Those who have anger suppressed live with an abuser, because anger was suppressed in the childhood. When your mama forbid you to be angry with her, you wanted to behave and show your ego, and she said, no, don't you dare talking to me like this. Don't you show me your fists. And that's when the kid got scared and understood that she or he is not allowed to feel angry, not allowed to show disagreement or express themselves. And now we have these life partners who can do whatever they want with us, use us, treat us as a doormat. This is when the anger is suppressed, when your interests are not considered, when you are being spoon-fed with something you completely do not want. Moving on, anger makes us get our will together, feel your power, and at times tells you exactly where to direct your action. Anger means that there is a certain obstacle between you and your goal or your desire. If you're feeling angry not with a situation or a thing, but with a person, anger can easily turn into rage. Rage is when our eyes sparkle up, nostrils puff up, the voice is louder, the jaws are clenching, and the teeth are grinding. Anger is a way to show that you're mad without physically attacking the person, to avoid a physical fight. Even close people can get angry, and the anger calms down when both of the parties have acknowledged the right for respect of one another and decided to be polite. They show that they respect each other and their rights and see the respect in return, and there is no need to intimidate the opponent. By the way, I'm inviting you to watch my other webinars about processing the feelings and everything. For those who have relationship issues, family issues, etc. Next, again, if you feel pain, something in your throat, any reaction, breathe through it. Get grounded and slow down. Stop your inner time. There are symptoms. These are the symptoms of your suppressed feelings. They're showing you those symptoms. Something begins to come to life. Respect. Respect is a valuable feeling that shows how people are treating each other. When you respect yourself, you feel strong and free. You enjoy knowing that you are you. In the presence of another person, you remain calm and confident. If you respect them, you see an individual just like yourself, having the same rights. Respect from others influences your physical health. It's easy to keep up a straight posture, stand tall, easy to breathe, and your hands are moving freely. You feel accounted for, cared for, considered. Respecting an opponent means listening carefully to what they're saying, paying attention to the words. Respecting another person means considering their interests and rights. People really respect each other when they recognize and value each other. Okay, so we have just learned about these feelings, but in reality there are more than 100 of them, more than 100, and I want to create a course about processing all the feelings and emotions, analyzing the feelings. If you're interested in something like that, let me know. So I understand, for me to understand. Lack of air is, of course, a symptom that something is blocked or suppressed. Feeling. Yes, yes, okay, I understand. I see that you guys are interested. It is indeed very effective. Have a short 1-2 hour meetings like this. It's very productive and rewarding for us and for our health. Look, everything that is happening to you right now are the symptoms of the suppressed feelings. And when we are processing and locating the key to our feelings, understanding which feeling we're feeling at the moment consciously, first of all, and then learn to process it in the body and in our muscles. Like I mentioned earlier, we are processing all of our emotions and feelings right here in the muscles. If you have a headache, it means that you're processing only in your head. Okay, now we're going to be playing a game. A fun game. I'm going to ask you to turn on your creative side. Forget that we are adults. We are right now kids. Children playing a game of feelings. Choose a feeling that you would like to process right now. Those who were having trouble locating the feeling in the body, for example, you can choose one of those. Racing heart is also a symptom. Any reaction happening now is a symptom of an unprocessed feeling. A symptom of the suppressed feeling that you did not process. And at the moment you feel the heart racing, this is the feeling you're suppressing. We have a feeling that we have devalued, pushed away, and suppressed. We're not processing them inside at all. We ignored it, and instead we have a symptom, be that racing heart or a headache or disease or even a broken leg or an abusing husband because your anger was suppressed. So the symptom is not only on the inside as a disorder, it is also on the outside as events or people that mirror us and showing us what is malfunctioning. Which is why it's very important to activate everything to be whole and balanced. Moving on, let's play a game. Whichever feeling you want to activate right now, let's take anger for example. It's a good feeling that protects us from moral abusers as well as physical. Okay, where's this exercise? Okay, whichever feeling you want. Disgust, okay, work with disgust if you feel like it, if you feel like it's suppressed. By the way, before I forget, if a certain feeling gets activated which you did not feel before, say anger or rage, if it got activated, you might be feeling it for up to a week, and it is very good. Process it because look, you need to pay attention and notice these things. It's not like oh, I've just snapped, but I'm noticing and acknowledging that I'm being angry with every person I meet, every innocent person. It means that this feeling has been activated in me. The feeling I have been suppressing. So if it happens that something gets activated, don't panic, let it happen, and then it will slowly calm down. Say, for example, Catherine said that she wants to work with disgust because it's suppressed. So if she activates it right now, she will be walking around for the whole week not liking anything. Everything is going to smell funny. People will be doing things that she doesn't approve of. And this feeling will start functioning really well. Anger, the same thing. Please choose the feeling you want to work with right now. Okay. Moving on. So we choose any feeling, only one feeling, only one. And I'm going to be a journalist. No, you are becoming this feeling. Catherine, Kira, Christina, Lana, Helen, Dana, Angela, Anna. Right now, I don't have a name. I am Catherine's feeling. I am Madina's feeling. I am Angela's feeling. I am the feeling. I am my owner's feeling. So you are this feeling. I am anger. I am anger. And right now I will be a journalist interviewing you, and you will need to respond to my questions for yourself. If you want to work with vexation, work with vexation. Let's play now, and then we will be chatting because I cannot read and play at the same time, and we have a lot to learn about boundaries as well. We have a short on time. Okay, so you took the feeling right now, and you say, I am, for example, Veronica's tenderness, irritation. Irritation is not a feeling. Irritation is when I don't understand what's going on with me. I have ignored this feeling 1,000 times, and now it is presenting itself as irritation. Anxiety and irritation aren't really feelings. I mean, they are feelings, but the ones coming out when we have suppressed our main and fundamental feelings and emotions. So this is why we choose feelings I gave you today. Take one of those. Resentment, yes, you can take resentment if you want. So I am, for example, Julia's resentment. Okay, so I am a journalist, and I'm asking you, who are you? And you respond to yourself. For example, I am Natalie's joy. Yes, you can choose any feeling you want to work with right now. Right now. I am Casey's respect. Ladies, it's better not to write in the chat, because I'm afraid that if we start writing in the chat, the connection is gonna break or something. So who are you? And you say, I'm Mary's sorrow, or I'm Joe's respect, or I'm Lena's hope, or I'm Marina's pity. Next, where were you born? Just use your imagination. It's not a city. You are the feeling and you are playing with it. Playing it, basically. Where were you born? For example, respect was born somewhere on Mars. Pity was born somewhere in the bushes. I don't know, under a leaf. We're just playing. Play it well. Use your imagination, and your result today will depend on how you're playing today. You need to dive into the story that you are the feeling and start playing it. I am this feeling. So say, I am tenderness. Tenderness, where were you born? I was born in the light of the sun, in a ray of sunshine, just as a fantasy, you know, and you decide for your feeling. Next question. What do you like to eat for breakfast? And you're imagining, what do you like to eat for breakfast? Maybe anger likes to eat bugs, or tiger's claw. I don't know, play this right now. I am this feeling and I'm fully in. What do you like to eat for breakfast? Answer it for yourself, right? And what do you like for dessert? What do you like to eat for dessert? What do you like for dessert? Catherine's joy, for example, what do you like to eat for dessert? Can be anything. Just dive in and use your imagination to the fullest and come up with something. Anger, what does it like for dessert? Hope, what does it like for dessert? Tenderness, what does it like for dessert? It likes rainbow with a lot of blue light that falls into lots of mini drops, which mix up with the morning dew, and this is what tenderness likes for dessert. Now, next question. What kind of clothing do you prefer? What kind of clothing do you like to wear? Think about that. My tenderness, for example, what's her style? I like to wear wind and put on a hat made of sea breeze, and imagine it all for yourself. I said it for myself, and you imagine something of your own for your feeling. And which colors do you prefer in your style of clothing? Veronica's tenderness likes lilac and lavender colors. Lavender with polka dots, funny ones, some dots looking like mushrooms. Like mushrooms. Fantasize and play. Fantasize and play. This is very important right now. Very important. Alice, okay, let it be associated with a human being, but once again, it's connected with your resistance. Because you need to imagine your own thing, and I am such and such, I'm such and such feeling, and I'm like that. This is why I'm playing with you, because I'm playing to get this feeling out of you and not to associate this feeling with somebody, to project it onto somebody. This is what you need right now. You need to wake up, come to life, and learn to allow this feeling into your wholeness. What is your favorite season? What is your favorite season? You can make up a season, for example. I like the time of the year without time. This is the time of the year I like without time. I have nowhere to rush, my time has stopped, and Veronica's tenderness loves this time of the year, this season. And what is your favorite movie? About what? Who are the main characters? Who are the main characters? I'm wondering which characters does anger have? What about hope? Which characters does it like to watch? What is your favorite movie? What are your favorite movies about? Alice, right now we need to play this game and not resist. Play the game right now. Do you like sports? Sports? And which sports do you like? Which sports do you like? Veronica's tenderness likes unicorn racing. Unicorn racing. How do you like to rest? My tenderness, Veronica's tenderness likes to rest on a cloud using a cloud blanket and a cloud pillow. He likes to swing on the cloud, look at the sun and get warm. It's so nice and comfy. How do you like to rest? How do you like to rest? Now, how do you like to travel? Where do you like to travel? Anger, for example, maybe anger likes to go into basement or a dungeon. You need to dive into this feeling, fantasize, or somewhere underground. It feels good there, or maybe it likes to sit in an ashtray, something like that. Use your imagination. How do you like to, and the last question is, how do you feel about your owner? You can actually write that into the chat. How do you feel about your owner? Write it here. So Veronica's tenderness loves Veronica so gently and delicately. She likes to kiss her and touch her, likes to smell her hair, likes to dig itself into her hair. And it's so nice, and it just loves her. This is my tenderness. So write it with caution, Anna. Write it like this, feeling and how it feels about you. With caution. Says, I don't love her. Larissa? Which feeling are you working with? Here, jealousy loves me and is ready to bite my offenders. Great. Anger is feeling consideringly about Jenny. Larissa has sorrow, sadness. Galina, faithful. Julia's joy, loves me. Fear with respect, resentment with pity. That's right. Disgust with irritation. Good. My love hugs me with severeness. Resentment loves me. Vexation loves me. Joy loves. Natalie's fear loves to tease me. Right. Good job. Great. Everything is great. This is the exercise to process your feeling one at a time. If it gets activated, you will be loving someone the whole week or be angry with somebody. Just allow it. Anger, whip. Good, great. We're playing. Everything is allowed. Anger with disgust. Okay, good. That's right. How else can anger feel? Right. Pity. Love my owner. Okay. Mary, anger wants to kill me. Nancy, respect with cold. Okay, also good. All of it is good. In fact, we're playing, we're feeling what we're feeling. This is all right. Leah, anger likes to pinch me. Okay, likes to pinch its owner. Okay. Natalie, joy likes to make me joyful. Okay. Lena, gonna laugh and make fun of everybody the whole week. Awesome. Now we're done with this one and let's move on to speaking about the boundaries. Thank you, ladies. I understood. Thank you. All right. Good exercise. We played and now let's move on to the boundaries.
Значит, смотрите, границы – это про нашу взрослость, это про
Boundaries are about us being adults, about acknowledging your own boundaries and acknowledging the boundaries of the other person. Who can acknowledge the boundaries? Only an adult, because they feel themselves self-contained and accept their own space as well as the space of the other person. What are the boundaries? Boundaries are the interaction with the environment. There are physical boundaries and also mental boundaries or moral boundaries, psychological boundaries, same thing. And this exchange, this interaction happens. I mean, what are the main functions of the boundaries? The boundaries filter what we do not need. Like, for example, like our skin, it also filters or accepts something. And boundaries can also accept and let in something that we do need. So the boundaries prevent the access of the unneeded and allow the joining of the necessary. So both mentally and physically, the boundaries exercise this function. Look, our boundaries are oftentimes absent, non-existent, which is why unpleasant things tend to happen to us. When our container and resources, when our containers are overloaded or absent, but actually look, when the container is full, it has no more room for anything else. It is full. It means that I'm not processing. It's filling up and overloading. This means we lack resources. If we do not process the container, we lack the resource. No resource, no boundaries. We do not let anybody in. Everyone is scared of us, which is why we need to process all of it in order to build healthy boundaries. That is the ability to say no to the other person, because this is how we are indicating our boundaries. This is how we filter what's mine, what's not mine, if it's a good fit for me or not. This is what the boundaries mean. How do we work with the boundaries? First of all, let's say somebody did something or to you and you got scared, or they said something unpleasant. First thing you need to do is distance yourself from it. Move to the side. It's important to be on a distance because there we are locating ourselves through mindfulness. We are finding ourselves in the moment with distance. If, for example, you live with your mother or with your husband, who you for some reason cannot leave, you have your dependencies, codependencies, etc. In this case, we have our inner distance, not only the physical one. It's on the inside. You have, let's say, the same container where you can hide, so to speak, from someone, distance internally. Let's say you're sitting at work and there are 5 other colleagues around you, and you can distance internally, no problem, to go into your own special world. Very frequently, our boundaries are violated by our parents through guilt or selling us what they think that we need, or their malfunctioning codes, which are not wrong. They're just obtained from their family system and they transition to us. Our parents don't always let us out of this parent-child relationship. And how do they keep us in this space? By violating our boundaries through guilt or shame. Don't you feel ashamed of yourself? I'm sitting here all alone, like our mother usually tells us, or something like that. Or you have to do something, this or that. A lot of debt in this communication when the parents are lacking boundaries. Look, if the parents lack boundaries, it means you also lack boundaries. So you are also integrated with your parent and you are experiencing a sort of transition and you are feeling the same way with your parents. This is what we will be talking about in my other webinars. So what do? We are learning to say no. Yes, this is hard because we are in full integration. We are we're feeling guilty. But if you keep not saying no, you will keep being integrated. You will not be accumulating the resource because you are suppressing yourself by saying yes to people. You aren't filtering what is mine, what's not mine, mixing and matching, and you don't know where you are and where the other one is, and then you mix everything up and they can do whatever they want with you. Your self-regulation is off, it's missing. No resource, no mindfulness. You fail to contain because the boundaries are broken. And also locate the place from where you're saying no. If you're saying no from arrogance, this is an unhealthy no. Unhealthy no. Unhealthy no. But if you're saying no from the place, there is an arrogant aggressor, this is an unhealthy place. If your no comes from a child with a trembling voice, this is also an unhealthy no. A healthy no comes from an adult, from a grounded place, feeling your body. I can feel myself and I am resourceful and I say no because this is not something that is for me. Thank you. Because my boundaries filter what's mine and what isn't. And like I said before about our psyche, when we say no to ourselves in order to say yes to someone else, we start hating them and leaving a dent in our psyche as well. So we do not bring any use to anyone at this moment. And when we have learned to adapt, we feel guilty. With guilt, our psyche works as follows. Anxiety. When I said no to someone, and anxiety is quite a heavy feeling. And to ease the weight of this anxiety, our psyche finds an external pole in guilt, because guilt is easier to process than anxiety. This is why we are adapt to guilt when someone is forcing something on us. And we cannot say no, disagree, or defend our point of view on a healthy ground, and we fall into guilt. And now look, mini exercise, very small and short. You will now see your boundaries and the boundaries of your family members. Okay.
Смотрите, еще скажу, вот у нас в Советском Союзе, я вам говорила, да, что у нас было все общее. Вот когда
Look, one more thing. In the USSR, we shared everything. When we wear someone else's clothes, we share our coffee cup. This is in fact an imperceptible violation of boundaries. Track these things as well. Okay, where is this exercise of mine?
Смотрите, как дистанцироваться. То есть вот для того, чтобы...
Okay, found it. Look, how do we distance ourselves? Like I said earlier, to protect our boundaries, we need to distance ourselves physically or mentally. And the inner state should be like this. The inner state. This is none of your business. None of your business. So if someone is trying to stretch your boundaries, violate your boundaries, just this is none of your business, or this doesn't concern you. This is none of your concern. It's just a global no, meaning that I don't have to report to this person, explain myself to someone, and if I don't feel the need, because excuses and explanations are coming from the resourceless child who does not have a container to process his feelings. Lack of self, lack of ground. Okay, look, imagine a house or an apartment where you live with somebody, or if you live alone, imagine a place where you last were with someone, say your parents' place, or maybe you spent the night. It has to be a place where you were not alone, or maybe someone visited you, like a family member, a mother, father, sibling. Ideally, it is to imagine yourself either with your husband and children or with your parents, your own house, or where you live or used to live, where you had your own room, your bed, your closet, etc. Imagine this. And now, try to see and locate the boundaries of your husband or your parents with whom you live or used to live. See where your mom spends most of her time. In which part of the house can you see your husband? And also locate yourself where you are in this house. Locate yourself. Locate your boundaries in this house. That is where you spend most of your time. Locate your own boundaries and the boundaries of your family members. And in these places, locate their personal belongings. Their personal belongings. Can you, for example, look inside your husband's briefcase or his drawer? Be honest with yourself. Can I check my kid's pocket? Can I look into my kid's pocket or my husband's cell phone or my mom's cell phone? Personal things. Can I do that? Can I touch them? hover around and answer this question, because people do have their own drawers, own closets, other personal items. Can you touch them? And next one, can others touch your personal items? Imagine your own personal space where you might be hiding something. Let's say your diary, maybe, or maybe some toys, something personal. And your mom cannot go in there and look, or maybe you don't have a place like that. And maybe your husband, for example, can go anywhere and look at everything. Or maybe your dad can do it, your mom, your sister. It's clear that fridge is for common use. We all touch it. But now look at your personal things. Is there such a space, such a place where nobody will ever set their foot in? Not even look in there. Here we can understand what kind of boundaries we have. Do I have my own personal space, or do I allow the others to have it? Or am I left without this space and I cannot look into someone else's? Or I look at their personal stuff, I can touch and look through it, meaning I am totally violating other person's boundaries. Or my boundaries are being violated and I don't react. Or I do react, but it means that someone has the gut to do it, and this means that I don't have any boundaries. Because if you do react, but someone dares to trespass into your personal space, it means that you have no boundaries. And at that, through self-regulation, through attention to self, to your body, and to your impulses. And remember that when something happens and puts you in a state of affect, like gypsies on the street, the first thing they want to do is throw you off your balance, for you to lose ground, for you to disappear from yourself. The self-esteem, what is it dependent on? How I value myself. But for me to value myself, I need to appear and I need to exist. Why do we receive gifts? Why don't they consider our needs? Because it all started in our childhood when we were spoon-fed, and instead of the bike, we were getting a coat because our mothers knew better. This is when our self-regulation got broken. We stopped trusting our own body. Symptoms that are in a form of an illness, autoimmune disorders, cancer, etc. Any disease is all due to the dysfunctional self-regulation. It is when I'm unaware of what is going on in my body. With my emotions and my feelings, I don't have a container, I cannot resource, I cannot set my boundaries, filter what's mine, what's not mine, and distance myself. It's all interconnected. Our health depends on the regulation of our physical and emotional processes. Our wholeness depends on it too, our ground and our everything, our confidence, our good self-esteem and self-worth. And self-worth comes from our well-being. And I don't mean medically, I mean I can feel my entire body. Don't forget about your feet as well. And now I suggest that we acne and pimples, skin is our interface. It shows the most up-to-date unresolved issue that needs to be fixed right here, right now. All of this you need to work with in therapy with your shrink. Right now, I'm not gonna guess, I'm not a fortune teller, thank God. I am a psychologist, a psychotherapist, and soon to be an analyst. I'm going to study deep psychoanalysis soon. And now, oh, I see a question, but didn't see it, but saw the word gifts. and I know that women are always interested in them. A man gives gifts to a woman who loves herself, values herself, respects herself, feels herself, contains, is full of resource, she manages herself, has temperance, and temperance is our container. This woman is mindful. She is not in affect, like, I'm in rage. No. It's the right way is the rage is in me. And today we made a room, made space in our big container. You can accommodate all of your feelings in there. So a man gives gifts to a woman who plays with these toys. This is what we learn at the Powerful Woman webinar. She plays with her toys. He can see that she's a resourceful woman and she is cool and she is doing great, and he wants to pamper her. And the first signal he gets in his head is depending on what you're playing with. If you like to play with Prada bags, he will give you a Prada bag. If you're playing with diamonds, he will give you diamonds. If you're playing with cars, meaning reading about them, drawing his attention in the street, or telling him a story about the fur coats and its origins. So metaphorically speaking, you are playing with it. And for a man, a woman who is mindful and resourceful it's always an honor to pamper and surprise her, etc. She always gets a lot of gifts, exactly what she wants, and doesn't even need to mention it. And now we're going to have our final exercise. I'm gonna play some music, and please right now write a letter to your own body. I'm gonna give you 3 minutes for it. Write a letter to your body. Maybe you've missed it, or maybe you have forgotten it, haven't paid attention to it in a while. Please write a letter to your body. You have 3 minutes. 3 minutes, and we're moving to the next exercise. So write a letter to your body. My dear body, my dear body, you are my temple. You are a gift from heaven. I have forgotten about you. I have been ignoring you, my feelings, my sensations, emotions, etc. in this manner. Yes, Natalie, you can process the feelings, emotions in yoga. Breathe through it. Yes, it's good. Any physical exercise is a good way to process your feelings, etc. You can write, and it's better, or you can think about it, but it's better to write and on paper right now. And we're finishing. If you need to add something, do it later. So we have written a letter to our body. And now, next, write a letter from your body to you. Now switch off your left hemisphere, your logic. Write with your right hemisphere. Just with your hand. Just with your hand, without any dots or commas. Just what your body is telling you. Maybe it's so happy to see you, so happy to get your letter. Maybe it has missed you, or it loves you. Write a letter from your body to you. Turn off your logic and let your hand just do all the writing. It's gonna write what your body wants to tell you right now. 3 minutes. Be grateful. Maybe it is ready to be friends forever, or to collaborate, or to serve you. Maybe there is something it wants to tell you right now. So turn off your logic, and there is a very valuable information that will come out right now. Irina, ask it again. I think if the tears come out, ask the body, what do you want to tell me? And the hand will write. Maybe it's afraid to show you its emotions. Maybe it's shy to tell you that it's missed you. It loves you, doesn't want you to separate. Just get it out. Get yourself out of your head. Let the hand write. Maybe it feels resentment. Yes, okay, so you know what it means. Need to pay more attention to the body. Dedicate more time to yourself. Tears, maybe it's missed you. Good, I'm missing you. Talk to me more often. Pay attention to me. Of course, because we forget about ourselves. Goosebumps, that's great. The impulse is delivered. This is great. Goosebumps are always a good sign. Always a good sign. Be with me. Tell it that you will never leave it. If it wants a massage, get a massage. Feel me. Yes. Write a more detailed letter. Give yourself 5 to 10 more minutes after our webinar and write it, and you will receive important insight, and then reread it and take into consideration, because our body is not exactly us. Our body came to us to serve us. It was given to us as a temple for our soul, for our ego, and we forget about it. Yes, from now on, don't ever let it go. Your body is with you forever. Take care of it. If there is something you don't like about your body, this part of it, you need to love and hug even more. Kiss it. If you don't like something, bring more attention to it. If you, for example, don't like your legs, then just say, my legs are the most beautiful legs in the world. You're my gorgeous legs. You know, I used to hate my legs. I didn't like them, and I had cellulite. And as soon as I started loving them, it had all disappeared. You have no idea how much I love my legs right now. I think they're pretty and slim and without any cellulite, and they're so long. I love my legs. For me, they've become like this, and all the other people see them this way as well. Our body is very responsive. You will see the result when you fall in love with your body again and with yourself. See here, I didn't love my belly, and as soon as I fell in love with it, started taking care of it, bringing more attention to it, fat started going away. In fact, obesity and eating disorder, all of it is connected with our self-regulation and its malfunctioning. We do not feel what's happening to us. We want to have sex, but go and eat a cinnamon roll. We didn't realize that, in fact, we just wanted sex. We want to be joyful, and instead we go to the fridge and started to get angry. So this is complete miscommunication between your sensations and your needs. People who have some sort of a disorder, this all comes from the blockage of sensations, usually in our childhood. It's a trauma from the childhood that needs to be treated. And this webinar If you made some notes about the rules, please use them. Find your wholeness, locate your body, locate yourself, love yourself, give yourself time, space, contain, give yourself resource, remember the cat on the windowsill, etc. Read it over and over again. It's very important. And in case of an affect, remember the 3 steps. Slowing down, getting grounded, and breathing. Breathing and breathing. I'm wishing you all the best and love you all. Love you all. Hugs and kisses.